What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big Thursday, January 14th NCAA Basketball show. To check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. Buccaneers, 1-9 overall, 0-6 in the Big South at UNC Asheville. Bulldogs, 5-6, 4-2 in the Big South. We're at Kimmel Arena in Asheville, North Carolina. UNC Asheville opened up at 9.5. That has moved to 10 at a bunch of books. This total opened up at 137. It's now at 137.5, and I see 138.5 now on the board. FanDuel, because we use the legal licensed books for Max here at odds, is at 9.5. That 9.5 for Asheville is juiced to minus 115, and the total still at 137.5. Let's go. Charleston Southern has lost 6 straight. The last 2 at home in a back-to-back Saturday and Sunday versus Radford by double digits. They lost the first one by 15 as 2.5-point dogs, and the second one by 20 as 4.5-point dogs. They're led by 6'4" senior guard Philandris Fleming Jr. Averages 19.7 points, 6 boards. They have just one other player averaging double digits, that being Sean Price, is 10.2. They shoot just 41.1% from the field and average 10.5 assists per game. UNC Asheville, coming off winning the second half of a Saturday-Sunday road back-to-back against Hampton, 85-77. Jamon Battle matched his career high with 18 points, while Trent Stephanie scored a career-high 16 points. LJ Thorpe went for 17. They shot 52.5% from the field, 39.1% from 3. Junior guard Tajon Jones leads the squad with 17.5 points per game. LJ Thorpe joins him in double digits with 12.1. They hit 46.6% from the field, 32.9% from 3. And then you get to their foul line stats, just 56.2% from the stripe. Max, you start your card here. Take it away. Charleston Southern, UNC Asheville.
Yeah, Jim, this is a UNC Asheville team that is one of the rare teams that I still look to as a side when they are shooting as poorly from the free throw line as you just mentioned. I think with UNC Asheville tomorrow, there are some question marks when it comes to the availability of Cody Jude and how severe his ankle injury is. If he's in the game, him and Evan Claiborne make a very formidable front court tandem, with Claiborne doing a lot of good work on the glass. The only thing is, when he's cleaning up the offensive glass and he's getting to the free throw line, they're just not dropping. He's probably one of the main culprits who are bringing down that team percentage. So I just want to point that out. I think that with Jamon Battle, well, what he needs to do aside from score the basketball is keep on pounding and crashing the offensive glass. He's already had 31 offensive rebounds in the 11 games so far this year. And I think that he's really taken advantage of more touches, more minutes, and more trust from the coaching staff. This is a UNC Asheville team that I've watched a fair bit of, and I can tell you they haven't been at home since, I think, mid-December. So playing at home is definitely going to be, I think, invigorating for them tomorrow. When you look at the numbers in first halves, this is a UNC Asheville team that when they cover numbers for you, they're going to have a good first half, and normally they have at least a 10-point advantage in the first half at home. With UNC Asheville, we've seen them on the road be able to play very good defense, chase guys off the three-point line to the tune of under 30%. And I think that that's something that has to be maintained. If teams are struggling to score 5 3-point makes against you, well, you're doing something right. I think that with UNC Asheville, it's definitely valid to point out the 10 for 18 that they're averaging game to game. So there isn't a ton of reliance on scoring the basketball there. With guys like Tajon Jones and LeVar Batts, who is raising and finding his way out of his shooting slump while still being able to contribute a fair amount of takeaways. when I look at this UNC Asheville team, this is a team that I thought that would be more of a contender in the conference, and I think that they're going to work their way into it. This is a team that can exploit Charleston Southern on the O-glass. This is a team that has to keep their turnovers down. And when you look at Charleston Southern, there are elements to their offense that they do well. However, I just watched those back-to-backs against Radford, and I just wasn't impressed. Fleming's going to take a lot of shots. He's a volume shooter, and there's lots of times where he may take 20 shot attempts and make less than 35% of them. I think that if he gets help from Emery Knox, who's entered the starting lineup and has been able to make threes every time I turn my head to the screen, well, then maybe you have something. But Sean Price getting easy buckets, maybe not so much against Evan Claiborne down low. And with Jaquavian Florence, that's your most dangerous three-point shooter, but he's hit or miss. He's Jekyll and Hyde. So I just cannot trust Charleston Southern. I have made the mistake once or twice of being on them. However, if you want to be in a profitable situation, you bet against them, because I don't think that they've covered more than 2 games this year. So I have this number around 13 to 13.5. And I think that UNC Asheville at home gets a nice dose of home cooking, loves those familiar rims, and shows us why. So 9.5, Jim, I'll take that minus 115.
And it is yours, my friend. Minus 9.5 at minus 115. That is available at FanDuel. Interestingly enough, the total at Circa is at 136.5. So it's moved to 138.5 at a few books. It's 137.5 FanDuel, just 136.5 over at Circa. Max, are you interested in adding a first half bet to that?
I think that by the time the first halves come out in the morning, you're probably going to see this line move to probably 10.5 or 11. So I think they'll just keep it simple and keep it the full game.
Sounds good. Max is on the board.